Finally, I'm able to get back into it. Gachiakuta, episode 19. Quite a teaser to start the episode. So Zoldyl continues to talk about how he's going to make this Watchman series. He's holding this medallion, and he's outside somewhere. Suddenly, this purple aura comes out. All at once, the title card comes up. And now we do sort of like this flashback, getting to where we ended last episode. So, we get to find out more about this Watchmen series. Apparently, it's been here longer than even Vital Instruments, and this might be someone else's from long ago, because we hear Zodal say their owner must have had an exceptionally strong anima, meaning that multiple objects belong to one person more than likely. Still a lot to take in here. Zodal keeps talking about these entries, and it's all starting to connect. What he was trying to do was make his own Watchmen series, but the thing is, nothing would work. It was almost like he gave up, but somehow he was able to invent these trash beasts, which takes us to how they're going to get on the spear. Ride a trash beast. This episode then cuts the opening, but once we come back, it's almost like a dream state. Rudo is being called the son of a killer. All at once, this is when Regato appears. We get to see the two live together. It's kind of like a zoom through time, so not a lot here. Rudo's having a lot of pain in his hands, and this is where he's gifted his gloves. Now, finally, Rudo snaps back and he begins to question this Watchmen series, and we do hear some really good stuff coming from Rudo. He asks Zodal if maybe there are other pieces besides Amo's boots, his gloves, and Zodal's cape. After that, we hear Rudo ask something that is pretty mysterious in itself. How was Regato able to get a hold of these gloves? Because a lot of this Watchmen series is on the ground. As Zodal's talking to Rudo, we see him begin to come over to him. At the same time, we get to find out something pretty important, that all these Watchmen series, they were all originally used by one person. Zodal is now right there in front of Rudo, and he's just overwhelmed him so much mentally. All at once, we see this purple aura come out of Zoldyl once again. And this is where he asks Rudo something pretty insane. Have you ever wondered if someone were to wear all parts of it, referring to the Watchmen series, what would happen? But what's even crazier are the words that follow Zoldyl right after. To achieve my goal, I must know. As Zoldyl continues, he says, I must experiment. This aura just starts seeping out like a cloud, and it hits this red core, and it reacts pretty heavily to it. Somehow Zoldyl was able to take his failure of a Watchmen series entry and turn this into an imitation trash beast core. A so-called experiment that evolves through offerings of other vital instruments. In fact, everything up to this very point has been an experiment. He meant for all these other cleaners to actually join on ship. It's kind of like the survival of the fittest. They're going to cross the border on this trash piece, and he wants to see who will live and who will die. We get to learn about the windiness of outside. It cuts, we come back, and Gita lets out this noise and calls from behind her hiding place. We're inside a trash beast? Bruno is just very surprised. Gita comes out of the hiding place, out in the open. Kaiju battle time! There's then a cut to engine. Suddenly, this entire place starts shaking because we know this trash beast is very active right now. Now, on the other hand, Fu is panicking because still his fight has not happened, and Jin just finally has enough and he begins to walk off to look for the rest of his team. As Injin is trying to walk away, Fu keeps coming towards him, panicking more and more, and this is when we learn about a flaw that he has. He can only listen to what people tell him to do. This is apparently what Mr. Zodel said. It's a flaw of his, and he told him to fix it. So Fu follows Engine as he begs once again for him to hit him first. Of course, Engine will not do that, but finally he turns around. It's almost like a bright light goes off in his head, and he's sort of grinning. Well, if I can't find my team, I'm not going to be in any fighting mood today. Instantly, Fu gives out. If you smash a vital instrument really hard against the wall, you can probably get out. But the major shocker to Engine is when he finds out they're inside of a trash beast. So Fu tells Engine that he has no clue where his teammates are and asks him once again, "Do you feel like fighting?" And Engine responds with "Nah." We then cut to both the Santas, and Dear Santa is extremely fidgeting, which grows Bro Santa very worried. So as the Santas are distracted, Boondus is picking up. He knows what's gonna happen with this trash piece. They're gonna fly and go sky high. So Bro Santa is distracted with all this fidgeting that Dear Santa is doing. He thinks this whole earthquake is all because of him, but something Boondus says catches him off guard. He finds out that they're actually inside of a trash beast. Man, do things get spicy here. So we see Dear Santa's eyes. It's gonna be getting serious. We go back to Engine, and he talks about, do they know who we are? And then we see our three friends. Well, it's really four if you include both of the Santas. Let's get to cleaning. So some crazy stuff is definitely about to happen. The next thing we see is back outside. Very windy, and this trash beast they speak of is a giant bird, and we get to see one of the eyes light up. It's yellow. Things are about to get nutty. Boom. Both of the Santa's animas are going crazy. They about to go out. Bundes is confused. You're already about to go all out? Suddenly we hear them both call out in unison, "Vital instrument, Centralian." And it's in unison we get to hear the voice of Dear Santa, which is exactly what you would think, actually. Okay, so let me correct myself. They say each one individually. So Centralian is Dear Santa. Bro Santa is actually cloth. So as we overhear Bro Santa talking to Bundes, he's mentioning something about not needing a mask, and apparently the bigger the trash beast, the more toxin it gives out. And this is where Bundes mentions something about this one is special, and he wants to know more about it also. This series is literal insane. So Bundes readies himself to fight the pair, and before he could get to that point, we see Bro use this cloth tie looking thing to tie up Dear Santa. And then immediately he straight up launches him. I'm just sitting back, prepared for something insane. And we get to see Dear Santa get launched at this wall, and he's getting ready to punch it. And he punches it. Nothing. These are like the weakest punches ever. He just keeps doing it over and over. Buddhist is just sitting there like, huh? Right after doing that, Buddhist is just so disappointed. He's like, what is he even doing? Bro quickly turns to Buddhist and uses his cloth to wrap him up now. And he mentioned something about the real toxic behavior is trying to stop your child. So is somehow Dear Santa his kid? There is a lot that we need to learn even still. There is one thing that Bundes hears from Bro Santa, something about listening to their progress. Suddenly we start to hear a sound almost like these punches are going through, and we get to see somehow Dear Santa is smashing some holes. This is when we get to learn about Dear Santa's vital instrument. The more he hits something, the more power he drains from it, and the stronger he gets. And this is the way we end the episode. It's actually a really awesome fashion. Bro Santa says drain, and then we see Dear Santa in unison cock back for a really big punch. That aura steeping straight from the fist. He hits the wall. Then we have like a smash end credit that says to be continued. Very nice touch. So, firstly, I'd like to apologize if the audio is a little bad here, especially if you hear like some background noise. I am still a bit sick, and that could be a bit part of that. Honestly, this was a really awesome episode. We get to find out that Zodal was trying to make a Watchman series entry, which ended up being a failure. But this failure ended up actually turning into the core for this man made trash beast, which is, now come to find out, what they're all inside of, which makes this whole plot point even more insane. Where are we going to go from this? Are we going to start season 2 up there somehow? Now, that would be just peak fiction, where they have to go from up there back down, which would be crazier for Rudo, because I feel like he would be conflicted a lot. I don't think it would be that easy. Like, I think it's going to get really insane, and some things are going to have to go down before we get to that point. We're going to get ready to see some really insane battles, though. Both the Santas, oh, And Gita gonna go off, possibly. Now that is something that would be icing on the cake. Ooh, Engine. Engine versus Fu. That is very much a possibility, but I got Engine on that. Engine is just too good at what he does. Overall, this episode is definitely a 9.3. Loved it, and I am excited what the rest of the series has to unfold. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are on Gachiakuta episode 19. Hope you guys stay safe, and until next time, peace out, guys.